Hi everyone, let's talk about Ganz Schön Clever. So I feel like I'm always on about roll and write games. I absolutely love them, and yeah, you might get sick of me talking about them, but they are really, really fantastic to me anyway. And I'm always trying to, especially in the Kickstarter votes for the backers, especially always putting them as options. And luckily, one got picked, and maybe it's because it's nominated for the Kennerspiel des Jahres as well, the Gamers Game of the Year in Germany. But either way, I'm glad that it got picked because this is a really, really fantastic game. It's definitely, it might put people off that it's completely abstract. You know, there's not even a tiny bit of theme in it at all, but I feel like the gameplay really pushes past that and I don't even notice it. The first couple of times we played without the rule where when you take dice, you lose all of the dice that are a lower number than that. And we were playing the first couple of rounds or whatever it was, quite enjoying it, quite liking the different areas and things. But as soon as we remembered that rule, it really made it apparent how important that is, because it really, like, higher numbers are better in this game. Usually, sometimes you'll want particular numbers, like for blues and yellows especially, you'll need particular numbers sometimes, but for everything else, higher is usually better. So having that balancing, really, it makes such a massive difference that, oh, I've rolled a couple of sixes in my first roll. You can take one if you want, but you're not going to get to do 3 actions. And it's not completely restricting you, but it's another thing to think about. It's something that's, reining you in a little bit and doing a little bit to mitigate that higher is better thing. It's still going to be a factor. It's still a dice game. It can still completely go someone's way, but I feel for how quick this is as well, it's not much of an issue, and I'm pretty comfortable with it in roll and writes anyway, most of them anyway. But as for the time, it's been pretty quick for us, playing mainly 2-player, but we've played it, I think, twice as a 3-player game, and it definitely got quite a bit longer. And I remember John Gets Games, when he did his review of it, said, it becomes more pronounced the more people you put in, which I can imagine, because you are taking your kind of entire turn and making all these decisions, and then everybody else gets to do something. So it increases the time it takes. That's true of Octodice has got a kind of a similar format, but especially in 2-player, which is almost always the way that I play, it's not a factor at all, and it's still quite snappy. Solo, there's a solo mode in it, which I didn't really mention in the playthrough. That's you do the same when you're the active player, and then when you are not the active player, to simulate it, you roll 6 dice and the lowest 3 are the ones that get put on the platter for you to choose from. So it's a beat your high score thing. There's not really that much to the solo mode, but it plays so ridiculously quickly when it's just you that there have been times when I'm at a loose end and just like, well, I'll just play a few games of this, practice it up on it. So I've probably played it quite a few times more than a lot of the games that I usually do the first impressions for. This is maybe 20th impressions of this, but it's a fairly quick dice game, isn't it? So I really, really like the system of, you pick a dice, you reroll it all, and you are kind of aware as well of what you are leaving for everybody else. The dice that you discard for having lower numbers, they aren't just things that aren't going to be available to you in the future. Maybe there will be if you've got the +1 power up, but you're also putting things out there for the other players, and it can mean that when you are keeping, if you're choosing low dice to think, okay, I want to keep my options open, I want to keep as many dice as possible, if you've still got all of your dice left in the final roll, for example, one factor that can work against you a little bit is that the dice that go on the platter could be really high numbers, could be really good things for the other players. Whereas, if you'd lost the 1s and 2s and things earlier on, they've got lower things to work with. It's not a huge factor, but it's another nice little thing to think about. But the main focus of the game is, the different areas and how they all work differently. Really, really love that. They're all distinct enough from each other that they offer a really nice little puzzle and can really restrict your choice if you don't leave your options open enough. But also the powers that they all have and the way that they all kind of interlock and form really, really cool combos. It happens at least once a game, hopefully more if you're having a really good one, but at least once per game, someone will have a really fantastic chain of, you know, I'm going to take this dice, which gives me this bonus, which lets me put a number in here, which gives me this bonus, and it just, you know, it's like a pinball machine of all of these different things going off. And whether it's happening to you or not, it's really satisfying to watch the game just kind of go off all at once. It's really, really great. It's good for, as well for, you can really focus on one or two areas and try and max out the scores in there, but the system with the foxes is really cool as well, because it's, you at the end of the game, as well as all the points you got for each station, you see how many fox bonuses you got and multiply that by your worst score, the station you scored least at. And so that kind of helps you not really have to do that. You can do a little bit of everything as long as you are aware of the foxes and you try and get as many of those as you can. So that's another little thing it's got going for it. As I said, yeah, downsides, it's completely abstract, and yeah, it feels silly mentioning luck in a dice game because, yeah, it's very apparent. But yeah, as a dice moaner, as I have been known to be in the past, most roll and write games I'm completely fine with, and they are quick enough that it doesn't really matter. And I think this game is interesting enough to watch how everybody else is going about it and to see all of their combos going off that it's not really an issue. And yeah, bit higher numbers are better, but yeah, there are a lot of things kind of holding you back from just picking the biggest dice whenever you want. But in general, let's just focus on the fact that I think this is a really fantastic game, and it definitely stands out from, I think, all of the other roll and writes that I've got. As I said, the turn structures may be a little similar to Octodice, but the actual, you know, the actual scoring and the way that all of these different areas work is completely different, and yeah, it's definitely a keeper for us. But yeah, that's Ganz Schön Clever. The playthrough is there, so hopefully you can take a look and see if you would be interested in finding out more. But yeah, thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye.